Welcome to the baseball and softball bracket, playoff bracket announcement watch party. How are you doing, man?
I'm good.
My name is John Berger. I should probably say that first, right? And
they know who you are by now. Come on, man.
I wish. And with me, we got Coach Dennis Baker from Buena High School. And how are you doing, man?
Good, man. Good. Ready to get after it. We got a great show planned. This watch party as they're getting ready to announce the playoff seedings and matchups for baseball all the way from 1A to 6A.
Yep.
So we got Cochise County teams well represented throughout here. I know some teams got their fingers crossed, wondering where they're going to go and if they're going to go and where. So exciting times.
Yeah, it is exciting. I think we should probably start with the most unfortunate news is that Buena lost both their playing games. Just so that we know up in front, if you're watching the show, like if you're a Buena fan, watch for the rest of the people. But there isn't a lot of news that's going to happen that comes out of Buena.
Shout out to Buena baseball. I'm sure we'll probably talk to them a little bit later.
Coach Tommy's
about them
awesome.
A little bit later.
Yeah, we love them.
Also, Buena softball. You battle hard all season. You get to this point. A lot of teams are looking for where they're going to play, but a lot of these teams had play-in games, so they kind of already know if they're going to be in or out. So it's just about where they're going to go. So unfortunately, teams like Buena, baseball and softball are losing their play-in game last night. But still, hats off to them, and congratulations for another great season.
Yeah, and they both played against some incredible teams. That's the other thing is like they aren't playing against a bunch of chumps. This is 5A. 5A baseball's pretty big. A lot of teams from bigger
the Phoenix metro area.
Yeah, it's we don't quite have if we have 120,000 people in the entire county.
Yeah.
When you compare that, I feel like Buena does really well competitive-wise with the 5A teams around the state.
Yeah. And then, in high school and college sports, it's sometimes a process or a cycle. Sometimes you get a really good group of athletes and then they have their time, and then you graduate some of these seniors and you have times where you're better and you have times when you're not. So, two teams, as far as Buena is concerned, I know we just talked to their coaches last week. Definitely in I don't want to say a rebuilding phase, because that Buena, is so good at athletics that never really truly have to rebuild, but definitely just not as good as they're used to. Or, we think about the Buena baseball team last year, who was like ranked top 5 in the state.
That team really had a great shot at state.
They'll be right back there here soon. So, sometimes it's like peaks and valleys. So
yeah, and sometimes you run into a buzzsaw that, is going to be pro talent getting drafted immediately, like that pitcher.
Yeah.
Good Lord, that guy was just an animal. But
big shout out to the teams that are gonna, especially as far as Cochise County, the 1A, 2A, and even 4A, for Douglas High School being very well represented with their chances to play postseason baseball.
Yeah, Douglas baseball
and softball.
And we talked about we didn't talk about it, but last year their little league was so incredible. They went all the way to what was it, Oakland? They played out.
Yeah,
in
it
Oakland.
was. I think it was. Yeah.
Ooh, it sounds like we got the big head in the background. He might be I think I'm related to this guy.
Studio in Phoenix.
Yeah.
10 brackets to reveal on today's show. Before we get to the first round matchups, just wanted to give you a brief update on the 1A brackets. They have already been posted on azpreps365.com. The number 1 seed in softball is Superior, and 2-time defending champ Joseph City is number 2. That tournament starts on Friday. In baseball, Hayden is in a familiar spot as the number 1 seed. Hayden can become just the 4th program in state history to win 4 titles in a row if it wins out. Its march toward history begins on Saturday. When we return, it's time to reveal the 2A to 6A brackets. We'll be right back.
Okay.
The pretty ladies in the background, I'm telling you, they can't beat our seniors helping seniors. All right. Maybe we can turn that down a little bit. But I don't know. So he's telling us about our top ranked teams. What do you think?
Superior. I mean, these are obviously when you go into a postseason, the top seeded teams are going to be the team to beat. They're the team that probably, won all the games during the regular season. They're a team that's built for that. So usually that first round matchup is going to be a very winnable, I don't want to say easy out of respect for all teams. So we'll see. I know when it comes to the softball, I know our St. David is the team that's representing Cochise County, and they're like a top 5 ranked team. They're not 1 or 2, but they're in that top 5. I believe it's the same for the boys. They're like 8 or 9, still top 10 teams in the 1A. So they're not expecting to get, a number 1 or 2 seed, but they don't have to. They realize, they're still one of the top 10 teams in the league. So they still, St. David on both baseball and softball should get a favorable matchup and should be able to host that first round.
All right. So, we are looking at St. David in that. Here we go.
Softball bracket show right here from Phoenix, Arizona. Without further ado, let's get right to the brackets, and we'll begin with softball in the 2A conference. And the number 1 seed goes to Heritage Academy Levine. The 2-time defending champ opens as the prohibitive favorite. They will take on the 16 seed Wickenburg. The 8 seed goes to St. John's. Freshman Jordan Sinagini emerged as the top hitter for St. John's. Her sister, Kinley, had a team-high 11 home runs. St. John's will face number 9
Wilcox
Phoenix Christian. Wilcox is your number 5 seed for that team. Several of those players participated in the 2024 Little League Softball World Series. Haiti McCumber leads the state with 21 victories in the circle for Wilcox. That team
Shout out.
Santa Cruz Valley. Kingman Academy.
Young lady was on the show not so long ago.
Hattie. 688.
Hattie Otani.
Kingman Academy, a team that will face number 13 Miami in the bottom part of the 2A conference bracket. Number 3 Round Valley.
That number 15 seed.
14.
Let's show them some love as well.
Kelsey Walker of Round Valley is crafting a stellar career, boasting a 590 batting average through her first 3 seasons. Tombstone, the 11th seed, will travel to number 6.
Nice.
To Horizon Honors coach Bobby Madrid on reaching the 300 career win total. His team earned an automatic bid despite playing with just 10 players on the roster. Number 10, Morenci will take on number 7, Camp Verde. Holding each other accountable and helping direct Camp Verde are seniors Brain Sapp, Ace Lynn McClare, and Mariah Munoz. In the last matchup in the 2A conference, Mojave Accelerated is your 2th seed and will take on number 15 Benson. One of the all-time greatest careers in Arizona will wrap up this postseason. Mojave Accelerated's Tanner Banks has hit a state record 70 home runs, and she is only the 3rd player ever in the nation to record 300 career RBIs. We move on to the 3A softball state bracket.
So while they're talking 3A, because we don't have any teams in that division, let's break this down. First of all, Wilcox getting the top seed.
Let's wait for the sound to go down.
Yeah, I think we can turn that down.
There we go.
So we got Wilcox representing Cochise County as the top seed, getting that number 5 seed. Let's talk a little bit about them. I mean, much has been made of the special guest that we had on the show, Haiti McCumber.
Dude, are you kidding me? The young lady that was sitting right here that we interviewed?
Yeah, I mean, she's batting .593.
Boy.
A .630 on-base percentage. Has a handful of home runs, 8 home runs already, 13 stolen bases. One of the top players in 3A, in 2A softball. So shout out to her and Wilcox.
And she hasn't been pitching for very long.
No, didn't she say she just started like last year or something?
Yeah,
like that?
only a couple years ago. Thank you for putting that up. We don't need our face on here, but we'll keep talking. So on that team, the batting average leader is Elena Bosley at .72. Sierra Olson, her on base percentage is .492. I mean, home runs. Elena Bosley is with 2, and Madison Ogilvy with 8 stolen bases. So that's a
And
solid
shout out to
team.
Jacqueline Ramirez, 46 runs.
Right.
So total team effort. You know, obviously we make a lot about Hattie the hitter and Hattie the heater, but obviously just a full round, you know, top to bottom roster of good quality players. That's why they got the 5 seed.
South Point's
Oh,
string
jumping
of
into
6
4A here.
consecutive titles was
Thank you, Dan.
snapped last year, but it responded this year by nabbing the number 1 seed.
And we're
Flagstaff,
looking for
CHC, will
Douglas.
host number 9 Chris.
We're looking for
The Eagles of
Douglas.
Not in this
Flagstaff
first
have the
round.
luxury of having 2 solid pitchers in Kaylee Colwell and Mia Garcia. 3 sets of sisters play for Flagstaff softball family. And congratulations for Chrisman. It's been a very, very tough year, but they rallied around each other and made it to the playoffs. Poston Butte, the 12th seed, will travel to play number 5 Arcadia. Abigail Burstegen had struck out 122 batters in 109 and 2/3 innings
Also, while
so
we
far
were
for
talking,
Arcadia. In the last game, in the upper
on
part
the
of the
2A
4A bracket,
as well,
Mojave, the
Tombstone
13th seed, will travel to play
getting in.
number 4 Paradise Honors.
I'm
That
sure we'll look
Paradise
back
Honors
at the
team is very
bracket, but
experienced and carries 2
very
go-to
good
pitchers.
representation
In
from
the bottom part of
Cochise
the 4A
County
bracket,
in
number 2,
2A
Micah Mountain will
softball and
host
baseball.
Number 15, Walden Grove. Micah has lost to just one 4A team
So this is the
year,
bottom half of the-
while totaling a school record 25 wins. The aptly named
Bummer.
Ace Lynn Heston
I don't see
was
Douglas
4A's
anywhere.
leader in wins with 19.
Nope. And we see
Coconino,
Micah
your 10th
Mountain
seed, will travel to
down
play
here
number
as
7,
they're getting a
Ironwood
2
Ridge.
seed in
Coconino
4A
is the defending
softball.
champ. Thunderbird, your
So
11th seed, will travel to play number 6 Cactus Shadows.
I know
Cactus Shadows
Douglas,
roster is young,
Douglas was looking for that 15 seed that probably was going to be their matchup. So unfortunately, they did not get in.
Saw Rita, the 3rd seed, will host number 14 Combs. Saw Rita's
As far as
Eliana Romero
softball.
had a 4A best 49 runs and it committed just one
Gotta pull
error
up
at
baseball.
They may have
shortstop
had a
this
play
season.
in.
Let's go to the 5A state bracket. The number 1 seed
Yeah, we don't
is
need any there.
Arizona College.
Yeah, we
That's so sad. We should be in there. Bummer. Okay, so AZ, they probably would have gone up against AZ College Prep. That's a college. That's basically a college team.
Yeah, they're a really good team. We played them in basketball last year. That's, a lot of good teams on there. Willow Canyon,
Oh, Candy
Dorado,
Deloro.
CDO. Yeah.
Yeah, Buena beat them earlier in the season.
Yeah. So, it's when you get into, like I said, the Phoenix metro area, that's when you're going to see most of these higher seeds are dominated by those teams.
And the last game in the upper part of the
All right.
But still, it doesn't mean that these Cochise County teams or the smaller schools don't have a chance. We know just last year, Tombstone was in the state championship game. The year before that, I believe Benson won the state championship. So
helping a young squad starting 4 freshmen.
Yeah, that's
anything is possible, and it's not even that wild or crazy to think. Cochise County teams have been in the state championship game 2 of the last 3 years.
that's such a good point because not only the girls have had great seasons. Like we've talked about St. David, we've talked about. I think that Tombstone team was actually pretty good this season. Those girls out there.
Yeah. Tombstone is going to be represented in the state championship. I believe they're a lower seed. If we can go back,
Yeah,
once
I
the
wanna
show is
find that.
over,
I'll find her.
I'm sure we could find the
they matched
bracket.
up with. But yeah, so that's the 3 teams, 3 2A teams, softball girls. Not a lot of surprises there. Both teams, 2 of the 3 teams were really, really incredible. We've seen Hattie play multiple times. And I think kind of the surprise to me was how, not that I didn't expect them to do well, but how high ranked Tombstone actually was in comparison to some of the other teams. I think it's great. It means that they beat some really, really good teams along the way. Their power points worked in their favor.
Well, and you play in a powerhouse region for 2A. I mean, baseball and softball.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to play Wilcox twice and Benson twice, and
there's 16 teams, 3 of which come
Bisbee
out
twice.
of Cochise County. That's a
Yeah.
lot for
Yeah.
120,000
Exactly.
people,
Exactly.
for 2A. And this right here is 6A softball state championship. This is where the people are just like, these are the real professional players.
Right. 6A, these are the big powerhouse schools.
Holy smokes!
But I will say this, going back to the polar opposite of the 6A as far as size, in 1A, St. David softball are going to be hosting San Manuel
good,
in their first round playoff game.
good.
And I believe that's actually on the 1st, so tomorrow. He kind of skimmed through 1A.
Yeah,
He only said what the number 1 and 2 seeds were.
yeah, he kind of buzzed through that. He might come back to it. It could be that they get to this and then they come back to the
show the
smallest
brackets,
schools.
maybe.
Who knows?
But it is up, and he did say that. He said the brackets are up if you want to look at it. In fact,
Oh, are they?
the brackets are only up for 1A.
Ooh.
So, at least from what I've seen. But yes,
Desert Vista, a great team. Holy smokes. Let's see. Any other teams? that
so
I've
here's
seen
this
before?
2A. For
Wilcox.
going back to look at that,
Yes.
Wilcox will be traveling and playing
Haven't
Phoenix
lost to
Christian.
a 2A team this year. The number 1 seed
Fantastic.
will host number
Well,
16 Northland.
Is this
Prep.
first round
Number
game
9,
at
Chandler
home,
Prep
or
will
is it
travel to
are all
play
of these
number
games in
8
Goodyear?
Wickenburg.
Good
Horizon
question.
Honors is your 5th seed for that
That's
team.
what I
The
thought
job's
for the
not
first
finished,
round, right?
but we
Yeah.
tip
So
our cap to
Wilcox
Horizon
will be
Honors.
heading
and
out to
Jack
Phoenix.
Hall
Yeah, it's
Christian for an
it's the
exceptional
first 2
career.
rounds.
The last game in the upper part
Maybe
of
it's
the
either
2A
first round or
bracket,
first 2
Phoenix
rounds are
Christian
high
is your
seed.
4th seed and will host Wilcox, the 13th seed.
Nice.
Phoenix Christian is searching for its 3rd consecutive state championship appearance.
Oh, 3
Santan
state
Charter
championships
is your 3rd seed and will host Glendale Prep, the 14th seed. Coach Phil Cardes, who runs a law firm, has brought order to a Santan Charter program that put together its first 3 winning seasons. Santan will host.
Hey.
number
Hey, look at
14
there. This is
Glendale
baseball.
Prep.
Yeah,
Bisbee.
is your 6th seed. Junior
Let's go,
Jackson
Bisbee.
Alvarez and Tristan Mayer are doing all they can to
Yes.
help Bisbee
Absolutely.
lift a
We've seen that
championship
before.
trophy just like they did 2 years ago. That squad will
Absolutely.
host number 11 Phoenix Country Day. Benson, the 7th seed, will host number 10 Santa Cruz Valley.
Nice.
For Santa Cruz, despite
Dude.
not starting any seniors, the squad is a win away
Both
from
of
its
those.
first 20-win season in likely more than 20 years.
So you
And
see
the
that
last
just on
matchup
this
in the 2A
side of the
number
bracket,
2 Round
2A,
Valley
we
will
got
host
Benson
15th
and
seed
Bisbee
Lehigh
hosting
School.
playoff games. So that's awesome.
Brenton Walker was leading the 2A in wins, and Round Valley teammate Jeffrey Cochran was the number 1 hitter in 2A. We move on to the 3A baseball bracket, and no surprise here.
Interesting.
The number 1
I mean,
seed
that's-
is-
that's
it is
fantastic
Valley
news.
Christian.
You got Benson. They're just we know that they're just absolute animals. We've seen them play a bunch. Gosh, I'm trying to think what else. So they've got,
Well, Benson, they just had the big win. It was either last week or a couple of weeks ago where they had the big rally win, I believe, against Bisbee.
right. Yeah.
Dawson Judd doing his thing over there was a nominee for Player of the Week
Sure.
last week, and so they're playing good baseball right now. And then, of course, we've talked about it. I know I've talked about it a lot all year about Bisbee and how good Jackson Alvarez and them guys are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we've been talking about that all season. The kids at Wilcox, when we watched them play, that was one of the most incredible games. Like, the ending was incredible. It came down to the last inning. They were down 1, and to play into this, it makes me a believer, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, so it looks like, was it Bisbee, as expected, got the higher seed out of all the
Yeah, that's
Cochise
weird though.
County teams.
But they're right next to each other, 7 and 8 seed. And I'm
Yeah.
like, it would be nice to be like, well, I guess since they're close enough together, maybe they would be split off and see each other later on.
Yeah, but well, eventually, if you win enough games, you're gonna have to see each other at some point, which is what we hope for. We want our teams to be
State championship
down.
last
Yeah,
year,
absolutely,
that Tombstone game.
Yeah, that
Holy
quarterfinal
smokes.
or the semifinal.
Those semifinals.
game.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, that was one of the best games. That was another great game. And that, I'm trying to think of how.
Prisman
Let's
is
see.
your number 1 seed and will host Paradise Honors, the 16th
I think is that a
heading into the
5
postseason
seed
with a
right
5.7
there?
average. Prisman,
Yes,
senior
sir.
Lopez,
Oh,
is
my.
proving he belongs at the next level.
Yep.
Ironwood
Yes,
Ridge,
sir.
the 9th seed, will travel to play Walden Grove, the 8th seed. Angel Figueroa and Michael Chop were each batting over 550 after 80 plate appearances for Ironwood Ridge. Douglas is your 5th seed. Isidro Hoyos and Trace Rodriguez have each struck out over 50 batters for that Douglas squad, which will host number 12 Yuma. ALA Queen Creek, the 13th seed, will travel to play Saguaro, the 4th seed.
Yeah.
point.
In the bottom
Yeah,
part,
I mean, we
Boyd
couldn't have even
Brackets,
said that better
South
ourselves. What a promo for Douglas baseball. They got 2 pitchers, both with 50-plus strikeouts on the season,
Just mowing people
and
down.
hosting a playoff game. So shout out to Douglas.
is number 10.
Baseball.
Yeah, dude, this 4A baseball, this championship tournament, this is going to be incredible for Douglas because, being from down here, I think they're kind of like David versus Goliath.
Oh, yeah, it's that way for all the teams at Cochise County. Yeah.
Well, they didn't say outside of the 2 pitchers. He wasn't talking about like the guys that I think of as the meat of the team. We talk about all these kids that all season long, and he drops the 2 pitchers on us. I'm like, oh man, they've had incredible defense and base running too. What are we gonna see though?
Well, I know the good thing about being the 5 seed too is not only are you hosting a playoff game, and everybody, let's just say everybody wins the games that they're supposed to. Your second round game would be matched up against the potential 2 seed and not the potential 1 seed.
Right. Good
So
point.
usually there's that number 1 team is the team that you don't want to face until you're in the state championship, and we got a few teams now in Cochise County that are repping that 5 seed right now. Going back to the Wilcox softball team, we got Bisbee baseball representing that 5 seed. So hey, we're hoping that works out for us. Like I said before, we've had Cochise County teams represented in the state championship in these tournaments 2 out of the last 3 years. So
I'm gonna pull up one game in particular from the season. If I can find it, this is one of the things that I've been kind of looking back to. It was when Buena. No. It was when Douglas versus Buena. So Douglas beat a 5A
Right.
team 8-1 earlier in the season. Think about that, like a 5A team,
Right.
they are able to knock down giants, bigger teams, heavily favorite teams. Their pitching, they were saying, is really good. I'm pulling up the team right now just to see. We've got, Ivan Higuera, Jose Ivan Higuera, 476 at batting average. I mean, now they aren't a big power team. They only have Andres Ortiz has 2 home runs on the season, which is great. But what they're doing is they're generating runs by stolen bases. So you see that they've got a guy with 33 stolen bases at 17 and then 8.
yeah.
I mean, that puts a lot of pressure on teams, and they are a high pressure team. It's a lot of fun to watch them. Oh gosh, we got
And are
1A.
we looking at, this is the 1A, is this baseball? Okay, this is baseball.
Yep.
And as you could, we
Dude,
scroll
Hayden.
down a bit.
Hayden's they're a monster. So what we're doing is we're looking for St. David here.
And
there we
they
are.
are.
So
They're going to be playing Anthem Prep,
Prep.
hosting.
Okay, I'm writing that down. St. David.
This is at St. David. And then if you see if they were to win this game, just like I was saying before on some of the other teams' brackets, if they win this game, potentially what's waiting for them is traveling to the number 2 seed.
Right.
So you're still avoiding that number 1 seed.
Yeah.
And then again, if that number 2 seed loses in that first round against the 15, then they have to come to St. David. So they could potentially have 2 playoff games at home.
Oh my gosh. I'm looking at
Now,
how
when
many
it comes
triples.
to softball, St. David is playing San Manuel Jr.
Oh, right. Nice. St. David versus. And Valley
Oh,
Union.
I skipped over Valley Union. Valley Union gets in there. They will be traveling to Williams. I think that's right outside of Phoenix.
St. David's.
So 2 more teams from Cochise County represented. Let's look at St. David a little bit. In fact, if you see there, St. David is, what is that, a 4 seed? They get in as the 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a heavy favorite.
Now, it's a 4 seed. Now, if you see their track, you never want to look too far ahead. But if you look up who they would be playing, the winner of is,
boy.
if everything goes the way it should, Mogollon, and that game would be at St. David as well because they would be the high seed. So again, another team with 2 potential
Keep
home
scroll
playoff
up one
games.
more time. The only team that they wouldn't be seeded against would be Superior Junior.
Right, and that wouldn't come until the semifinal.
Yeah, the 5-8.
Yeah.
And wow, baseball's so exciting, man. Like
So we got some good representation. So we have
it's beautiful.
in 1A, St. David boys baseball at home. Softball, St. David
versus Anthem Prep
at home.
Yep.
Then you got Valley Union softball. They're actually traveling though.
Yep.
But to Williams. So good stuff.
Yeah, that's like we've said, the Cochise County is an absolute powerhouse when it comes to baseball.
Well, and then I look at, when you factor in the 1A, St. David softball is the best team represented in Cochise County, because our other teams, Wilcox softball and Bisbee baseball, are the other, top rated. Even though it's close with a lot of teams, they're 5 seeds. St. David softball got the 4 seed.
So if you're a betting man, you're putting your money.
I mean, if you really take a look at it, I pulled up some of the St. David stuff up here earlier. Well, really, I think statistically, I would probably lean towards the Bisbee baseball team.
But they've got such a road. You're right.
They
You're
do,
right,
but they've been there before. This is a team that actually won the championship, state championship 2 years ago. And if you look at just how, I don't know, for just lack of a better word, how hot they are, I think they have the best chance. But St. David softball is right there as well.
I don't know. I'm after watching Wilcox play last night, I think anything is possible. So
Wilcox is really good too. You're talking about Wilcox softball.
Baseball. Those
baseball
boys were insane. Holy smokes! Like their pitching was incredible. Their defense was top notch. They didn't really miss on anything. The problem that they were having last night was they just couldn't score. It was a 1-0 game, and the other team's pitcher, when he came out, it turned the game around, man. It was a totally different thing, and Wilcox started just shelling. They would have put up 4 more runs if they had, if they'd been down 8, they would have scored all 8, But that was such
St. David. I'll make a case for St. David softball. Okay, their overall record on the year was 17-3.
Okay.
All right, they won all of their region games, 8-0. So that's already pretty good, right? 17-3.
Yeah.
And you think, well, okay, who are their 3 losses? Well, their 3 losses came against higher class, like 5A literally 5A Desert View. They played Desert View twice, and they lost both of those games 10-0.
Okay.
And then they lost another game to Tanque Verde, which I believe is 4A, and they lost that game 9-0. So these were just teams that they're obviously overmatched. You could tell by the class of the school and even how these scores were.
Yeah.
Right? 9-0, 10-0, 10-0. Outside of those 3 games, they've won every game. And it's not like they can't beat anybody, because we're just talking about St. David softball. St. David's 1A.
Right.
And we talk about how good our 2A baseball and softball is. So they play a lot against 2A teams. They beat Bisbee 15-1.
Boy.
They beat Tombstone 6-4.
Yeah.
They beat Benson 13-0. This is 1A St.
Benson,
David.
really?
They beat
wow.
They beat 5A Flowing Wells 4-2.
Did
They beat 5A Vista Grand 13-3.
Boy.
Like, yeah.
I
They
didn't
beat
realize
Duncan. We saw them. They're in a playoff team. They beat them 22-0.
Yeah.
They beat Valley Union 29-0. This is a really good team right here. And I think that 4 seed is like, okay, you acknowledge that they're good because they're 4, but I think their resume says they could have been like a 1 or 2 seed.
Oh, I love that.
But they're going to usually give that to the Phoenix area
largest
teams
school.
or the teams that more name recognition. But St. David is starting to be one of those teams in 1A in all sports.
Yeah.
They get name recognition because they seem to be good at everything.
Oh, baseball, softball, football. What did they do in basketball? Good Lord. The girls won state a couple last year.
Right. Well, you just say that like winning state is an easy thing to do, like, oh yeah, they won state, so.
Where are they feeding
Hats
those
off
kids?
to St. David. I may have to, that would probably be my favorite as far as softball. I would say Bisbee boys for baseball, but good luck to all the teams representing Cochise County.
Man, that, and how close those, when we were talking about Bisbee and Wilcox, how closely they were kind of matched up. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know when they play each other and stuff like that, and you know how it goes. Somebody can get hot from the mound. Somebody can bats get hot.
So did you know that there's like a limit on pitches? So the thing that they did was they burned through all the pitches for so the coach was talking to us in the interview last night from Coach Ward from Wilcox, right? And he was talking about how he knew that pitcher was really great, but as long as they could keep running,
stay alive.
Yeah, just stay alive, because once he got to 100 pitches, he was out automatically. And that changed the game altogether.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, because that was a good point that I was reminded of last year during the playoffs about the strategic coaching aspect of, especially in these first round games. Do you really start your ace or your starter pitcher, because the second round game is coming up? You got another round after that. These guys are going to need rest, and usually that first round matchup, especially for the higher seeded teams, is a team that you should be able to win even with your secondary pitcher, and you don't have to use your starter all that much. So it's going to be interesting. There's definitely some strategy involved. So we'll see, man. It's going to be exciting times.
Anybody can
starting
win.
This week.
I know, right around the corner.
Yeah.
I hope we're covering every one of the games. I'm sure we are. All right, Dan, do we have anything else going on before we who's our sponsor? Is it these wonderful people up here, the Seniors Helping Seniors? And so we love SSBEC. Thank you so much for supporting our community. Seniors Helping Seniors, we love them too for sponsoring our shows. They've been great, fantastic sponsors. They treat us very well. So Dennis, anything else before we get out of here?
No, that's it, man. Big shout out and congrats to our teams that'll be playing. We know we have Douglas going to be represented, Benson, Bisbee, Tombstone, Valley Union, and St. David.
Right.
Wilcox as well.
Of course.
So good luck to all the groups, and hopefully by this time next week, all of our teams are moved forward and going into quarterfinals.
Yep. All right. For Dan Powers, for Dennis, what's your last
everybody
name?
else.
Coach Dennis, we got my name is John Berger, and we're going to get out here. Thank you so much for checking in.